Hello, Ravens fans, and welcome to another season preview. I'm Aaron Schneider, the Sports Information Director at Anderson University, and joining us for our men's soccer preview is head coach Scott Fridley. How are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
Well, you're coming off an HCAC Tournament championship and an NCAA tournament appearance. First, tell us about how last year's experience is going to. How the experience is going to be beneficial for this year.
Well, I think the excitement of how you finish carries over to the new year. I think our spring was really good. When you lose that many seniors and you're relying on an underclassmen group, I think all those experiences make a tremendous difference. We have 2 seniors and 3 juniors, and then we have a plethora of sophomores and freshmen. And so since we are very underclassmen heavy, a lot of them are going to have to step up, whether they did at the end of the year or now. They're going to have to step up and really drive us to be as good as we think we can be.
You talked about having a lot of seniors graduating last year. There's the structure of last year's rosters. There's a lot of seniors and even more freshmen, but we got to. How did this year's sophomores really benefit the most from having the senior leadership that they did last year?
Well, when you have that many seniors, right, you have a group that knows what I want, knows what the coaching staff wants, knows what we expect. So it's not as much hand holding as it is when you're a young team, because they have all those experienced guys that know how to push them through experiences. When you lose all that, I think that senior class left invaluable amount of experience and friendships and relationships and all these things that they brought to the table. And I think they left a big piece of them with the freshman class, which are now our sophomores. The freshman class, which are now sophomores, they're quite a class. It's the largest class we ever brought in, but the guys that we brought in expect to win, don't want to lose, don't want to put any foot forward in 3v3 training to anything else that's not winning. And sometimes that's hard to find across the board. That whole class expects to win every day. And they bring that edge, which I think is important. And they brought it last year, right? But as freshmen, they're just trying to figure things out. Now they're a year away from pretty much running the team as a class when they're older. But it's a good group, and I'm excited because they have that chip on their shoulder. Now we have a freshman class that came in that are going to fill in some holes, and there's some very good players in this group, which will see the field. Quite a few of them will see the field in and out, filling holes and making sure that whatever works best for us, that they'll join what we're doing.
All right. What are your goals and expectations for this season?
Well, we always expect to win. We always expect to win the conference. It just doesn't always happen that way, right? I think for me, it's getting the freshmen comfortable, getting the freshmen and sophomores in a good relationship situation so they understand each other, so they feel good playing together. We want to, I know family's overused and brotherhood, but it's just a good tight-knit group that enjoy playing together, making sure that they bring their best effort every day. What I like about this group is the accountability factor. And we talk about it every day in practice, making sure you're keeping that guy next to you accountable. Make sure they're doing what they need to be doing. Make sure that we're putting our best foot forward. And I think this class will do that. We had 2 good scrimmages this weekend that I thought we just really had some good moments. And when you're a young team, you just don't ever know how they're going to start, middle, and finish, how they're going to recover, and how they're going to drive. And so far, so good with this group.
All right. What would you say your team strengths are?
I think We should be defensively strong. We return most everybody in the back between Jack, Noah, Luke, and of course Kennedy's returning from last year. But you know, the outside back we're still working on. Could be a freshman in there. We don't know. The middle of the field, I think it's going to come down to our ability. If we have injuries, I think the depth is going to be critical for us and who's ready. I think our first 6 per Friday will be competitive and be able to score. But again, we have a lot of good players that are just looking for a chance and trying to see who's going to play on game day.
Mm-hmm. And then, and a lot of names. You know, just get what you can here. And what are your who are some of the returners that you expect to make an impact this year?
I expect Miles Tucker to be an impact. Getting Brendan Hall back after a year and a half. He's such a talented player and driven and strong. Good in those tight spaces to goal. Wes is very creative, and I'm not sure Wes knows how good Wes can be, but Wes is very talented. We moved Emmett up to the midfield, one of our captains last year when we needed more help there. I think he's starting to get comfortable. So I think that can be helpful. Cohen Winton, returning from a really good final 5 games of the season. We expect him to be helpful up front. In the middle, you have Danny Carlin, you have Carson Reed, you have Andy Colclazier that I expect to get real time and really push for additional time kind of thing. Ashton Cuss at the 6. Again, like all the sophomores, it's just who's going to come back and start well, who took from last year's experience and who drives it. And Ashton can be really good. You know, like all of them, we're just looking for more consistency. And so I'm excited about the goalkeeping. We have 5 goalkeepers now. We haven't had 5 goalkeepers in about 10 years. And they're all pushing each other. A little injury bug right now, but Steggy and Bobro from the returners pushing Kennedy are critical for us. With 2 new keepers coming in that are going to help us. I would expect them to be in the mix. And to be fair, I have a great coaching staff. I'm very fortunate that all my coaches have full-time jobs, so I get them when they get here. And Coach Spires is our structure specialist and the associate head coach. And there's nobody better than him when it comes to soccer. His soccer brain is like nobody I've ever known. And so having him on staff is critical. Matt Nelson has really turned out to be a fantastic goalkeeper coach. When we started 3 years ago, just hit and miss and just getting to know, and he's really dove in the last 2 years and has really made a big impact. And then Jackson and Garricky, Micah, when they can get here, they are impactful. They just aren't able to get here as much. But when they're here, it makes a tremendous difference. And then we've added Dax Turnmeyer to the staff as our chaplain and just helping as an assistant coach kind of thing. And so again, it's all full-time working staff. They get here when they can, and I'm blessed to have them for sure. And so I think the year can be good. I like to hope we can start off the year 2-0, but you just never know till that day and see what's going to happen.
All right, and then tell us about some of your newcomers. You got another double-digit class. Tell us about some of the newcomers you expect to make an impact.
Matthew Davil will be somewhere in the rotation in the back. He's really really a center back, but he's playing a little bit outside back at this point. But good player, driven, hard-nosed, good in the air, communicates, all good things you want. But when you have two all-conference type center backs that easily could be two of the best center backs in the conference, you got to work yourself in. I think Merrick Bollinger will be a difference maker. He's a quality player and very elusive and just very creative, and so we're excited about him. I should have brought a list because I know I'll leave somebody out. Carter and Jonathan are both solid goalkeepers. Jonathan from Denver, Carter from Dayton, and I expect them to push hard for the keeper minutes. And then you have Cooper Todd that scored over 100 goals in high school. He's a quality player, strong, and just kind of getting him up to snuff with the speed and strength of the game, I think. And a little bit of the injury bug. He has a minor sprain of his MCL from last week, but we expect big things out of him as well. And I just, I know I'm forgetting some people, but the kids are great kids. They work hard, and just really proud of the group they are.
All right, and then let's talk about this coming weekend. We got the Raven Quaker Classic, host Muskingum on Friday, host Beloit on Saturday. Tell us about what you expect to see out of those two teams.
Well, this is our 30th year for the Raven Quaker Classic, and like most years, it'll be a tough go. We have Muskingum first. Josh has done a really good job there in 2 years. They'll be young. I expect them to be exciting. They'll have a big freshman class that he's brought in. They'll be a tough opponent. We played them a few years ago in a preseason match. We just haven't played them much. Excuse me. But Muskingum will be good on Friday, and Josh will have them prepared and organized. He does a good job. And then on Saturday, Beloit's coming down. We went and played them last year. I think we won 2-1. We were on them early, and then things settled out, and we were fortunate to leave with the result. And they've brought in a lot of new players from talking to their coach. That will just add to what's happening there. So I expect a tough weekend, and hopefully we can get started on the right foot.
All right, and then finally, what does your team need to do this year to be successful?
I think consistency and patience. I think those two things are critical. When you're young, you make a lot of mistakes. You get panicky. I think if we can be consistent and patient, I think that would be good.
All right. Well, I think I've covered the questions I wanted to. Ravens fans, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow along with any more previews and any more content we may put out on YouTube. Of course, follow along with your men's soccer team. They are home twice this week. They host Muskingum on Friday at 5 p.m. and then they host Beloit on Saturday at 3 p.m. Coach Fridley, thank you for joining us, and good luck this year.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.